Hello, everyone. This is Raquel Sertaguda from Homeownership SF. As we're all settling in, I just want to like to thank you all for joining us today. Anyway, Maribel Escalante, I want to thank you, Maribel Escalante, for joining us. She will be our facilitator for today, and she will also be introducing everybody who will be speaking for today's workshop. Maribel?
Hi, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. I will introduce our presenter today. It's Lucretia Thompson. We're going to be presenting at a Housing Expo 2024. It's our online presentation. Enjoy it.
大家好，我哋今日會提供翻譯服務，包括廣東話同埋西班牙語。大家想聽到翻譯嘅聲音嘅話，請你喺一陣啟動我哋翻譯嘅功能嘅時候啦，你會見到喺 Zoom 嘅屏幕下方有個地球儀嘅標誌，請撳一撳，呢度寫住 Interpretation 口譯，再撳入去再選擇語言，咁中文、廣東話就係 Chinese 嘅。咁同樣啦，如果係你係用手機入嚟嘅話咧，你喺手機嘅屏幕見到3個點，撳一撳，跟住選擇 Interpretation 口譯呢個按鈕啦，跟住再撳入去選擇語言，咁廣東話就係 Chinese 中文，咁你就聽到我哋翻譯嘅講話。咁如果你淨係想聽到翻譯員講嘢，唔想聽到原本講者英文嘅聲音咧，你可以再撳一次一個叫做關閉原始音訊嘅按鈕，咁就可以聽到翻譯嘅聲音。多謝大家 ，Thank you。
Hola a todos, aquí su intérprete en español para esta noche. Seré quien les interpretará en simultáneo toda la sesión. Para poder acceder a la interpretación, si es que no lo han hecho aún, es muy sencillo. Van al globo terráqueo o al icono con forma de planeta en la parte inferior de su pantalla, eligen Spanish o español y me pueden escuchar a mí durante toda la sesión. Muchísimas gracias, que la disfruten. Thank you.
Please enable your closed caption. To join with computer, the step number 1, click Show Caption. And you see the CC button down there. The second step, for computer, choose the caption language. To join with cell phone, please step number 1, click caption CC. Step 2, short caption. Step 3, language, caption, and save. Homeowner San Francisco member agencies. Homeownership San Francisco member agencies. We provide information, education, resources, and programs. And we have 5 members: nonprofit agencies, Asian ANC, Balance, MEDA, SFLGBT Center, SFHDC, Housing Counseling, MEDA Mission Economic Development Agency, located at 2301 Mission Street. Our phone number is 415-282-3334. And our website, medasf.org. Our core services is housing, counseling, and education for homeowner, home buyer, renters, financial coaching, credit building, and debt management. What is affordable housing? Housing that is cheaper than market rate housing for low, moderate, middle income household, produced funded by government program, has limit on household income, rent, and increases.
Thank you, Maribel. Hi, my name is Lucretia Thompson. I am the BMR Rental Programs Manager at the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development. And today we are going to talk about what is affordable housing. To most people, affordable housing is a price they can afford to pay each month for rent. In San Francisco, affordable housing includes all the things that Maribel mentioned. It's produced and funded by government programs, rented at prices that are below the typical market rate, and they're restricted to qualified households which have low, moderate, and middle incomes. We have two major housing programs here in San Francisco that we're going to cover today. One is 100% affordable rentals, and the other one is inclusionary below market rate rentals. My goal today is for you to understand the difference between the two rental programs, how to determine what project you may qualify for, and how to get ready to process for a unit. There are three income categories that our programs fall under. There's very low, low to moderate, and middle income. Our 100% affordable housing units focus on households who are very low to low income and is 30 to 60% of the area median income, also known as AMI for short. In the next slide, we will take a look at what the actual meaning is for area median income. Our inclusionary housing units, also known as BMR units, focus on households that are low to moderate and middle income. For the low to moderate units, they focus on households whose incomes are between 55 to 120% of the AMI, whereas middle income focuses on 120 to 150% AMI households. Let's discuss what the current monthly rent ranges are for each income category, and these are going to be based on a 2-bedroom rental unit. For the very low households, the rent ranges between $888 to about $1,900. For low to moderate income households, rent can range from $1,731 all the way up to $3,922. And then for the middle income households, that range could start at $3,922 to $4,935. Now we will look at how to use the area median income to determine your household's AMI percentage. Before we discuss this slide, let's first define what is area median income, or for short, AMI. The area median income is the middle or median income of an area or region across the US. Around the spring of each year, the Housing and Urban Development Department, commonly known as HUD, releases new income limits. Then each city or county program takes these limits to publish their new income limits based on their specific area or region. Looking at the new 2024 limits on our slide, You'll see in the first column, you'll see income level. Those are the AMI percentages. The next column, you're going to see household size, which is broken out by the number of persons in the household and the maximum income each household can earn based on the number of persons in the house. Now we're going to focus on the 3 persons column, meaning that you have 3 people in your household. You will see that if your annual income falls between 40,000 to 450,000, sorry, 40,450 to 67,450, you would be considered very low income. And your household's AMI percentage would be between 30 and 50%. You would then want to apply for projects that have units listed at that 30 to 50% AMI. If your total annual household income is between $74,150 to $134,850, you would be considered low to moderate income, and you would want to look for projects that have units that are listed at the 55 to 100% AMI. Lastly, if your annual household income is between $161,800 to $202,300, you would be considered middle income and should apply for projects that have units listed at 120 to 150% AMI. Now that we have discussed how to determine what type of housing AMI units you should apply for, on the next slide, we will discuss types of affordable housing here in San Francisco. Types of affordable rental housing. The majority of the units listed on our Dahlia housing portal are either inclusionary below market rate, also known as BMR units, or 100% affordable units. But you may ask, what is inclusionary and what is 100% affordable? The inclusionary program produces affordable units in market rate buildings. It's called inclusionary because the affordable units are included in the building. And we usually refer to these as BMRs, which again stands for below market rate. These BMR units can represent anywhere between 10 to 33% of the total number of units in the building. And these units are for low to moderate income households. After the initial lease up, if a unit becomes vacant, it will be relisted on Dahlia as a re-rental. Inclusionary buildings do not have a wait list. The 100% affordable program produces buildings where all the units in the building are affordable, hence the name 100% affordable. These units are usually for households who are very low income to low income. After the initial lease up, the building will have a wait list, which will be used to lease any units that become vacant. For our households whose incomes are considered middle income, meaning their income is between that 120 to 150% AMI, we have housing plan projects. These are inclusionary projects where the number of affordable units in the building are negotiated. So the number of units kind of vary depending on the negotiation. Some examples of buildings that we have currently leasing would be the Canyon and the George. Now we are going to take a closer look at specific differences between the inclusionary housing and the 100% affordable housing. To help compare the differences Between the two programs, we have listed them side by side. The inclusionary housing building is owned by a for-profit entity, whereas 100% affordable buildings are owned by nonprofit entities. The inclusionary building is privately financed, developed, and governed by the city and county of San Francisco. And the 100% affordable building is publicly financed, developed, and governed by the California Tax Credit Allocation Committee, also known as TCAC for short. Lastly, both programs are rented through a lottery process with the city preferences. The inclusionary program also includes ownership opportunities that are sold through a lottery process with the city preferences. Inclusionary housing units and 100% affordable housing units are both listed on Dahlia. Earlier this week, we had a webinar called Navigating Dahlia that I hope you guys were able to attend. That webinar walked individuals through how to find housing, apply for housing, and what happens after the lottery. There are currently 5 different types of listings that are on Dahlia, and they are new inclusionary BMR rental projects. These are brand new projects that have just been built. We have re-rental inclusionary BMR units. These are units that have become vacant after the building's initial lease-up was completed. 100% new affordable rental projects. These are brand new projects that have been built. 100% affordable waitlist opportunities. These are opportunities to be placed on a wait list for possible vacancies in an 100% affordable project. Then we have first come, first serve opportunities. These are opportunities where projects have exhausted their initial lottery list and still have units available to lease. The major difference for these opportunities is the applications are processed in the order they were received. Hence the phrase, first come, first served. Next, we'll briefly go over where to find listings. Rental listings can be found on our Dahlia housing portal at housing.sfgov.org/listings/for-rent. Here you will see the different types of listings we discussed in the previous slide. The new inclusionary BMR rental projects, the re-rental inclusionary BMR units, 100% new affordable projects, and the 100% affordable waitlist opportunities. In each listing, when you click on See Details, it will provide details about the project, such as the rents and AMI percentages for each unit type, eligibility requirements, the features for the building, the deadline to submit an application, the date the lottery will be ran, and the leasing agent's contact information. To locate the first come, first serve opportunities, you'll go to the same place, housing.sfgov.org, listings for rent. You will go to the section, see more listings from our community partners. If you then click on view opportunities, it will take you to the SFGov website page for additional housing opportunities. Once you are there, you just click on other San Francisco rental programs, and that link will take you where you can view and apply for first come, first serve BMR rental housing opportunities. You may now ask yourself, now that I've applied, what happens? In this chart, the general process beginning with applying to a housing opportunity on Dahlia to when you sign a lease and the income recertification that happens on an annual basis. Each lease-up timeline may differ, so we can't give specific amounts of time that it will take from applying on Dahlia to signing a lease, but we can share how the process works. Now let's discuss the processing error on the slide. The first step is to apply for housing opportunities on Dahlia. Once the application deadline ends, there will be a virtual lottery. This is a public lottery that anyone can join remotely, and you can find out when the link will be posted by going into the listing under public lottery. A few weeks after the lottery, a leasing agent will start reaching out to applicants in lottery preference rank order. Once you are contacted, you will have 5 days to submit your full application with supporting income documentation. Once the income is approved, the project will conduct a credit, rental, and a criminal history check. The next and final steps, once everything is approved, is to sign a lease. Congratulations, you are now a tenant. After becoming a tenant, about 120 days prior to your anniversary lease sign date, you'll be required to complete the annual income recertification. Don't worry about remembering this. The management team will notify you when it's time to complete the certification. Now that we understand the process, let's be prepared when contacted by the leasing agent. Be ready and stay ready. One of the best things you can do to be prepared for when you're contacted by the leasing agent is to have all the documentation prepared and ready to go when the leasing agent contacts you. They will provide a documents checklist of all the documents you will need to provide based on your household. The type of documents you will need are pay stubs, benefit award letters, if self-employed, year-to-date profit and loss statement, also known as a P&L, bank statements, and federal income tax returns. Tips and tricks. Check your email regularly. I don't know how much more we can say that here. Is one of the ways the leasing agents will be contacting you is through email. So remember, some emails go to spam. So make sure you check your spam folder as well. Have your documentation prepared and ready to go. If you have a unique situation, write it down and submit it with your application packet. If you find you need help during any part of this process, please reach out to a housing counselor at housing.sfgov.org, housing counselors, for a list of available housing counselor agencies. Thank you everyone for attending the city-sponsored rental housing, BMRs, and 100% affordable housing webinar. If you need assistance or any questions after this webinar, feel free to reach out to sfhousinginfo@sfgov.org. There are several people from our team that monitor this email, and we'll return inquiries as soon as possible. If you need additional assistance with your housing search, you can visit www.homeownershipsf.org. Thank you again for attending.
Application assistance is available at balance 800-77-7526, www.balancepro.org, Mission Economic Development Agency, MEDA 415-282-3334, www.meda.org, SF LGBT Center 415-865-5542, www.sfcenter.org, Big Shop Bill Sorrow Housing Program 513-5177 www.bigshop.org. Open house 415-296-8995 www.openhousesf.org. Self-help for elderly 415-677-7587 www.selfhelpelderly.org. Homeless Prenatal Program 415-546-6756 www.homelessprenatal.org. San Francisco Housing Development Corporation, SFHDC, 415-822-1022 www.sfhdc.org. Southeast Asian Community Center, 415-885-2743 www.siausa.org.
Thank you, Maribel, for that one. Um, so one of the great things, Maribel, the great thing about this one is, if you noticed, Maribel had shared a few some of the agencies that are available in our network that provides application assistance. So I don't know, Maribel, what's your experience when you do application assistance? Tell them a little bit more about that. Maybe they could get a good idea of when they need to go, when they, when would be the best time when they could go, what are their options if they're going to ask for assistance? Can they drop in? um can they make a phone call? Can you share a little bit more about that, Maribel?
Okay. At MEDA, we have in-person services Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 9 a.m. through 4 p.m. You can also reach out over the phone, and you can send us an email, and then we can accommodate you if you need any other a special schedule where we can accommodate families. We also recommend if you have any question, please reach out, and we'll be more than happy to support or provide you more information.
What type of services, because Maribel, you do this on a daily basis, right? What type of services do you normally do whenever you do an application assistance? What type of steps? Because I remembered Lucretia was sharing a little bit more about the steps. And at what stage of the steps can you actually help out?
Well, rental, we have, different process. We offer education for homeowner. We offer in-person services for rental. And then when families come to our services or requesting information for our services, what we usually do, just try to orientate the client or the family, depend on the information or the services that they're looking for. In this case, we offer Dalia's lottery application, also post-lottery process. We also can support families to increase their credit or build up their credit. I would say our services are pretty complete, and usually when families come, they get an answer for their questions or,
That's
their situation.
That's a lot of services, and I know the others also are doing the same thing. Each and every agency does a different, has different types of services, but it's primarily similar to a lot, especially with the BMR services, as you mentioned, assisting with the application process, assisting with maybe with how from the start to finish, right? From the Dahlia to the Lisa process. And do you do appeals as well if ever somebody gets denied any type of assistance?
Yeah, we also support with the appeals. Also, people come or families come with requesting information about profit and loss statement, And then we're here support them with that, because sometimes it's not easy to understand where families earn money as cash, and then when someone explains to them about the profit and loss statement, they probably don't know, and we are more than happy to coaching them to this particular situation.
I love that. I really love that. I just wanted to emphasize that. That's why I wanted to step in, because the Mission Economic Development Agency, as I mentioned, is just one of the agencies that are providing services, and they have a lot of services. So besides just application assistance, there are other services that could support that. And so I'm glad that you're able to share that. And so all these other agencies also have different strengths and different types of services they could offer. Some of them, as you know, as Maribel had shared, some of them do offer in-person services. They offer phone sessions. So there's multiple ways that you get to reach them. And so they are actually part of our coalition, as well as part of our collaborative. That's why our website is their home ownership SF. But anyway, Maribel, thank you for letting me, ask you a little bit more about your services, because I love how you work with your clients and how you do your services. But I'll go ahead and turn it back over to you.
Thank you, everyone, for attending our Housing Expo 2024. We invite you all to our in-person Expo 2024 on Saturday 18. It'll be held in 1520 Oakdale Avenue, Bayview, San Francisco. You will get more information, and then please come, and if you have any question, please prepare all your questions. Will be there to take care of you and answer all the questions that you might have. The location is 1520 Oakdale Avenue, Bayview, San Francisco, and it's 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Please welcome to our in-person Expo 2024. If you have questions, be ready. We'll be there for you. Now it's time for a survey, and you can see the link. Thank you for attending our webinar. And please, workshop evaluation is the first link that you will see. Evaluation del taller is the second in Spanish, and then you also can do it in Chinese. We're sharing the link, and please take the time to take the survey. Thank you.
We do have a few questions, Maribel, that are still coming in. Would you be okay for us to answer some of the questions, since it looks like we have quite some time to answer some questions for our attendees? That's great.
Please. We're ready for question. Also, Jennifer Ramirez is here with me in case that you wanted to submit something on the chat. She's also ready to answer the questions.
So there is a question about the recertification process. Sounds like this might be for Lucretia. Jeffrey Martinez is asking about the recertification process. For example, once you qualify for initial limit income, and then the next year you get a raise and it was over the initial limit income, like maybe $1,000, he said, or any amount, are they able to recertify with a higher income AMI level?
I have my colleague Justin Chang, who's here, that was able to answer the question in the chat. So this will depend on the particular program you're under. Most will allow for an increase in income after you have resided in the rental unit for a year. For example, the inclusionary housing program, you can increase your income up to 175% of the AMI. For the 100% affordable the max of income that can increase would be 140% of the AMI.
Thank you so much. Any other additional questions that you might have? Okay. Oh, good question. How do you say your name? Is it Gahanan? Um, so this particular class it's not actually gonna go towards any of the educational certifications. This is just a quick informational session that we're providing, and that way you could get introduced to the different programs. However, we do encourage you to actually look into the home buyer education courses that are being provided if you're trying to qualify for the first time home buyer courses. And you could locate that at our website, which is homeownerships.org. You just click on home buyers and look under home buyer education. And it should be there. Um, did that answer your question, Gahanan? You're welcome. Uh, okay. So Zoraida has a question. This can maybe answered by somebody from the city. Anybody who's familiar with this one. It looks like it pertains to buyouts. So if anybody's familiar with the displaced tenant, maybe who might be able to answer this.
So hi Zarada, this is Justin Chang speaking from the Mayor's Office of Housing and Community Development. That is a very important question. The only thing I hesitate to be able to provide much more detail on that is that's really a question that should be answered by the rent board, especially if your building is under rent control. What I can do is I'm going to provide you with the phone number for their counseling hotline. They're usually really good. They have rental counselors that are available to take people's calls, and they would be the appropriate people to be able to answer that question. So I'm going to look up their number real quick, and I'll put that into the chat. Okay.
Gahanan, if you live in San Mateo County, our particular expo is actually particularly for the San Francisco programs, and specifically for programs that apply to the city and county of San Francisco. However, that being said, San Mateo, our five member agencies, within our five member agencies, they may be able to assist you because outside of the city programs, our five member agencies, Asian Inc., Balance, Mission Economic Development Agency, San Francisco Housing Development Corporation, and the San Francisco LGBT Center. They also have jurisdictions outside. Some of these member agencies we have jurisdictions outside of the city, so they can also help assist you if you do have questions. However, another way for you to get assistance is you could go to HUD.gov and search for the nearest agency near you that can help assist you with that as well. Did that answer your question, Gahana?
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, great. Look like Kareem has a question.
Oh, and I just wanted to mention that I put the rent board information in a response in the chat. It has their number as well. I included the website. Their rental housing counseling line is going to be open from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. So you're able to call them during that time, and they should have counselors that are experts about the rent ordinance and should be able to address your question.
Thank you, Justin, for that information. That's awesome.
What is the phone number?
And so the number is 415
415. Hmm?
252
252
4600.
4600. And it is called Rental Housing Advisor.
So no, that is the San Francisco Rent Board.
Okay, so it's related to San Francisco, right?
It is a city department.
City
It
department.
specifically regulates units that are under the rental ordinance in the city and county of San Francisco.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you,
For
Justin.
for Kareem's, if hopefully I'm saying it right, Kareem's question, Raquel, I believe they can access our previous trainings. So we had a training on Kareem on decoding San Francisco's housing preferences. We had a webinar earlier this week, and that one will help should be able to help explain and understand the ranking rules. Maybe Raquel, you can tell them where they can find that on your guys' YouTube channel, I believe.
You are correct, Lucretia. Actually, I will post that in a few seconds here. Thank you so much for um letting them know about that particular workshop. But yes, we will be posting, including this and other workshops from this from this week in on our YouTube channel once the expo is done. So you have access to all of that information. So I will provide that information also to you.
Okay, and then Kareem, I wasn't quite sure what your question was regarding the waitlist program. Could you elaborate?
Hello, can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Miss Thompson, good having you tonight. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for attending.
Yeah, you have difficulty calling the rent
Yeah,
amount.
yes, give me some
Me
grace.
too. Me too. It's a lot of money. So, let me ask you something. I've been applying for BMR units for a little while, but the thing is, I don't think it's fair. I'm gonna get this attention to you because you are in the first place able to listen and maybe get a step ahead to fix it. For people like me, I work with the city, and we do have like a hourly range change year to year based on inflation and so on. If you compare it and you end up and you roll it each year, I go about 3, 4, 5,000 sometimes if I'm lucky. But if I was able to apply for a 2 bedrooms 2 years ago with the inflation and the city hourly pay raise and all kind of stuff, I will be able to do it because they went over by 1,000 too. I don't think it's fair because if you set a limit for, let's say, 2 bedrooms, and if you go over 88,000 a year, 88,000 a year, we are 5 people in the house, and you deny us just for having like 3, 4,000 and above a credit limit on your application. It doesn't make sense. I don't know if you get my point on that. That's the only thing I would like to ask you directly. I don't know if you can help me through it because if you go over uh, this year and 2 years ago, it was okay to apply on the same unit, same program, but the inflation, it doesn't count. That's the count. I don't think it's clicking right in the city.
Okay, trying to kind of understand your what you were discussing. So what I think I heard is that you've applied before and that you were found to be over income for the
No,
unit
no.
they're crossing you for.
Yeah. I'm sorry to interrupt. No. What I'm trying to tell you is, you can get the unit in the first year. There is no way unless you are extremely lucky because it's a lot of people applying the same time, same facility,
Okay.
same location, same city. What I'm trying to tell you, they set the credit, the income limit each year is different.
Yes.
All right. If you set the 2 bedrooms 2 years ago, let's just say it, for example, okay? You said your income limit is 85,000 2 years ago. And this year you do it for 88,000. You added only 3,000, but the inflation is too high. I mean, 3,000 above the 85,000 you said it for 2 years ago. If I'm making above that, about 1,000 above where the city set the income limit, and I will be qualified, I don't think it's quite right for that. You know, they should have some program. If you go, there is a credit limit over the credit limit. You know what I'm saying? So if you say it, for example, okay, two bedrooms unit, the income limit is 85,000, but the range between 85,000 and let's say 92,000, we cannot go over your credit and check if you qualify because we're talking about gross income. We're not talking about net, you know.
Right.
You disqualify a family, like for example, for me, a family of 5 people, 80 for this year, I'm making roughly around the 98,000 5 people in San Francisco. You are below market. You are really not poor, but average. You know, there is nothing you can do with the 100 grand here in San Francisco, right? So
Right.
I don't think. Well, you are the first person, and you can make a change. In term of if you listen to me, if you say, well, you're making more than above a lot of people. This is true, but it's a gross income, not net. The city is taking a lot of from me. The state is taking a lot from me. I'm taking something back because I have kids. Other than that, what I'm doing, just going to tax. Ecosystem is taking a lot of it. You know what I mean? So if they set an income limit, a certain amount, they should negotiate people making a little bit above that. I'm not saying if I make a 15,000 above that. No, I'm saying about 2, 3, 4,000. They should negotiate that and take a look at it. You know what I'm saying? So I may be qualified. That's the thing. I don't think it's fair because if you be enrolled in a certain program and you'll be
Hey,
extremely lucky,
Kareem,
you yes,
I do apologize. I don't mean to cut you off.
yes,
I really feel for your situation, and it sounds extremely frustrating to lose out, on affordable housing when you're just a little bit over the income limit.
right,
Um,
right.
this is what I would definitely recommend. If you have, any just any if you have feelings regarding how policy should be different with the city and county of San Francisco, how we're determining AMI, and how you feel this program can be improved, I would recommend that you send us an email, and you could let us know about these issues, and we could take that into consideration.
Yeah,
Um,
you can send me your email. Yeah, I'll be glad to do it. No, no, no. The thing is, I'm having Miss Thompson with us. She may make a change. I'm just trying to explain to her, and I know she get it. That's the reason I'm spending a lot of time on it. It's not only for me, for a lot of people. Not for me. I'm not saying I want to get it, but a lot of people want to get it. But it's not fair. That's all I'm saying. I'm not talking about myself. I'm
I,
talking about a lot of people. They go over a little bit and they disqualify them immediately. Whether you say on the application, I'm sorry,
so,
unfortunately, you go over the credit limit.
so
That's yeah, yeah.
So Kareem, I understand there must be a lot of frustration with this. What I'm gonna do is, and I don't usually do this, I'm gonna give you my email. I'll
Okay.
type it to you in the chat. And you can send me you can send me all of this in writing, and I'll make sure it gets addressed with the appropriate people, and we can take a look into it and investigate this
Yeah,
matter.
please
Okay?
do so. People, a lot
But
of people will be happy. A
we,
lot
we
of
want
people.
to be respectful of everyone's time here. I just
Yeah,
want to
yeah,
make sure
sure.
that other people are able to get their questions in. Okay.
No,
So
no, no problem.
I'm gonna send you my email. Okay.
Okay, sure, sure.
And Kareem, just to clarify, Justin worked with me very closely at the city. So that's why he kind of jumped in, just to make sure we could allow, for a space for everyone to be able to ask all their questions.
Absolutely.
I do see another question on the chat. This is more of a commentary. Anybody who'd want to provide comment from for Jeffrey? He's asking about safety concerns regarding a place that they are considering. This will be moving into the Tenderloin. I don't know if this is the appropriate place and space for that. However, if anybody has any thoughts on that. Jeffrey? I could speak basically. I used to be counselor with balance. I used to be counselor with balance. As a counselor, we always look into situations based upon each and every person's needs and concerns are dependent upon their own personal situation. The best way is always to, do your research. Allow also if you feel that the information you're receiving can feel one-sided, it's always best to also, these are some of the things you can also confer with counselors. They do have drop-in clinics and things like that. They could discuss this with you and be able to discuss this in a more personal level. They could look into everything that's important to you, and whether it's a need or want, including the safety, proximity to everything that's accessible to you, everything that you need accessible to you. But as I said, I personally cannot provide commentary on that one, but I believe a conversation with a counselor can help, like, narrow down certain points that might be important to you. The bottom line is this: when choosing a housing unit, one thing, affordability is great. However, if it's affordable and it's not going to be assisting you with your way of living, it's not going to be conducive for you in terms of safety, in terms of the things that are important to you, then that's when you want to weigh out, really, is it really affordable, or is it actually going to be, more of a disadvantage for you simply because it seems quote unquote affordable. Did that help out a little bit, Jeffrey?
Hi, this is Jeffrey. It sure did, thank you. It's just that I've been watching those YouTube channel videos on the channel, and they just make it seem so dangerous. But I'm thinking that if you take care of yourself and you mind your own business and don't bother anybody, then I should be okay. So I'm just a little bit worried about safety, but I'm not going to let it affect my decision because I mean, safety doesn't matter where you're at. You got to take care of your safety, right? So I thank you for your opinion. I'm not going to listen to the YouTube channels that I watch on YouTube, and just based on my own, I do know how to take care of myself, and I don't body anybody's business. And I think that as long as I leave everybody alone, they should leave me alone. So I'm not going to let that persuade me. I was just wondering about it. And I do thank you for your time. Thank you.
Well, you know what? Thank you so much for sharing that. It actually is key for you to be safe. And sometimes, as I said, the best way you could actually determine if it's safe for yourself is visit the place in different times, different situations. Visit in the morning, visit it on a weekend, visit on a weekday. Try and see whether or not it's accessible to everything that you want to, that you need in your life. Visit it in the afternoon. Just see whether or not really this is conducive for you. As I said, YouTube, when you see things on online, they have an agenda, so to speak, or they have a goal when they share that information. But the best information is when you gather everything together and really make those decisions. And of course, employ information from people that you know also, because safety is paramount to being able to survive and live. It's called quality of life. You don't want to be always looking at behind your back too. But thank you so much for sharing, and I would recommend come by to the expo, get to speak to some of our counselors. At least they could give you some good ideas there.
Okay, thank you. I will do that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, there are a few more questions that are on the chat. We are at 7:58. So uh So right now, I think there's a question: what is the ideal yearly income for a senior seeking reasonably priced studios that one can afford on a fixed income? In any other state, she just mentioned here how much income would be like in other states when it can be comfortable. However, for us in San Francisco, Lucretia, um, would you like to answer this? Or am I putting you on the spot? Or Justin? I think this will be our last question, maybe, that we'll be taking in.
Yeah, so the so you know, low we kind of briefly discussed low income for San Francisco. The key, the really big key to finding the right project to apply for is just understanding based on your income where you fall in the AMI percentage. And then that really helps you navigate where you can apply. The city does have opportunities that come up for senior housing. And definitely a housing counselor can work with you to kind of get that list of the different senior housing that's possibly available or coming available. And they can also help, and Raquel, you can chime in. They can also help for maybe there's a subsidy that would you would qualify for that could help alleviate some of the rent burden.
Correct. As Lucretia had mentioned, there are different levels of income, right? And so depending on what the programs are, as she's shown, there are different types of properties. So projects come in and out, basically, that can be either at the lower income, a higher income, middle income. So it's always important to just keep an eye on these programs, but also if you're trying to figure out these questions, yes, that's another reason why you'd want to go to a counselor, and that way they could determine whether or not where you're at your income, where does it fit in into the whole scenario, what's available to you right now. Do you need any additional assistance? And as Lucretia had mentioned, so these are definitely the perfect examples when you would want to come in and actually talk to a counselor, and especially come to our expo. Shameless plug, but yes, it's the best way you could get everybody in there to answer your questions. Okay. So we are already at 8:01. Maribel, um, thank you so much for joining us for this one. Would you like to close out our workshop, Maribel? I could.
Thank you everyone for joining us today. We invite you to our expo on Saturday, 10 to 2 p.m. at 1520 Oakdale Avenue. Please come ready with your question. Speak with us. We will be there to answer your question. And thank you again.
Thank you so much, Maribel, and thank you, Lucretia, and everybody from the Mayor's Office of Housing Community Development, and also Jennifer for joining in to help us out. Please feel free to fill in our surveys for tonight, and I hope you all have a nice evening. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you all. Thank you.